Hi, and welcome to this tutorial of how to disable SELinux. SELinux has a security feature, and obviously you shouldn't disable it if you have any production environments running. But in my case here, I'm running on a local VM, and sometimes it just complains about enforcing rules that I don't necessarily care about. Here I'm going to show you how to quickly disable them. First and foremost, you can always double check what the status of your SELinux is by just typing SE status. You can see the status there on the top. It says it's enabled. That's great. Also, the current mode is enforcing. SELinux actually has three status. It has enforcing, permissive, or disabled. Permissive is an interesting mode. Rather than enforcing the rules, it will warn you whenever you violated some of those. I actually never ever see a reason why you would disable SELinux altogether if you have the permissive mode, because at least then you know what would have gone wrong if it would be enabled. And as we all should strive for secure systems, we should always model our systems or develop our systems to actually be secure. So permissive allows me to go ahead and find out what I did wrong and then build my application accordingly to allow it to run with SELinux. Now, how do I change it back into permissive mode? Well, as you can see here, there's a current mode, enforcing, and there's a mode from the config file. And you can actually change both without needing to reboot or anything. It's rather simple. There's a set enforce command that allows you to specify whether you want the mode to be enforcing or permissive. Let's just check. So by typing set enforce, you see that there's a simple usage. Either set enforce enforcing or permissive, or if you're more lazy in typing like I am, 1 or 0. So let's set this back to permissive. And in this case, I actually do the work and type permissive. Now if we do SE status again, we can see that SELinux is still enabled, but our current mode is now permissive, while the mode in the config file is still enforcing. So now as a last step, let's actually change this as well in the config file. Why is this important? Because if ever the system would reboot, it will read obviously the config file and therefore then determine the current mode. Meaning permissive will be lost if you reboot your machine and it will be back to enforcing. So pick your favorite editor of your choice. In my case it's Vim. And just go to etc SELinux and there you will have a config. And then there, config file. Very easy, you will have an SELinux status that you can just here change to permissive. You don't need to necessarily type, it tells you here once more what it actually is that you can see it set. And as you see, permissive prints warnings instead of enforcing. So let's just copy paste this here and then make sure we save this file and quit. There we go. Now if we run SE status again, we'll see that SELinux is actually still enabled, which is great. But the current mode is now permissive, as well as the mode from the config file is permissive. And that's all you have to do. Thank you very much for watching.